Hello, everybody, and welcome to Boss Talks. This is episode, where are we at? 38, the big 38. I'm so excited today to have, a past coworker, a boss in residence there for a while. She was with Community Boss before I joined, and we have been staying in contact, obviously. But Jeanne Klein is on the show today. She is our guest, and I'm excited to catch up with her and all the things she's doing at her new gig. But before we get to it, I'm Evan Happel. I'm with Community Boss. Our solution is to really tackle all your issues around physical spaces. So parking, amenities, mapping, we can really cover all the bases there and also generate some great revenue for you on at the same time. So without further ado, though, I'm going to add Jeanne.
Hi,
Jeanne, welcome.
Evan.
Welcome to the show. Yeah, I mean, when you left, I think I was only on episode like 6 or 7, maybe.
Yeah.
So 38. Here we are, still
38.
kicking.
Yeah, and it's a good even number. I was like, oh yeah, put me on that one. I love even numbers. Not 37. I get all freaked out. So I'm feeling good.
Well, good. I'm glad to have you here. I'm really excited to just see what has been happening in life. Oh, and you've got your boss necklace. Once a boss, always a boss, right?
Yeah, I found hundreds of them for like 3 months after I left you guys. I was like, they're everywhere. It's like my husband's obsession with bobby pins. They're like all over the house. He's like, why so many bobby pins?
It's like a treasure. It just, you find it under your mattress, just weird places.
Purses, backseat, on my child, all kinds of places.
Now, only if they had the same value of money.
Oh man, that would be great. No offense, but I'd be trading them in. I'd be like, all right, off to the pawn shop with my 900th boss necklace.
Really, no offense there.
Yeah. There should be a contest. You get a real gold boss necklace if you've been with us for XYZ.
Jeanne, don't tell the people. These are real in their mind.
Oh, God, I love it.
Yeah. Well, but thank you again for being here. I'm excited to catch up and maybe even learn some things about you. I don't know, who knows? I don't know everything about you. So,
I'm sure I have some good juicy secrets.
You always have a few good stories to tell too. So,
yeah. Yeah, I've heard some really good ones here lately too. So I'll
nice.
share a couple of those.
Cool. Well, before we get into any of that, we're going to kick off with the 3 questions I always ask my guests. And don't worry, nothing too serious. But, as you know, we are Community Boss. Mm-hmm. And I like to ask my guests, how is it that they like to build community, whether it's in their personal and or professional life?
Okay. Well, professionally, I'm trying to be a wizard like you on LinkedIn. So I'm doing my very best. But it takes me a while to be witty via technology. So it's a struggle. And then I'm like, wait, I have something amazing at like 3 a.m. and then I forget about it before I wake up. So I'm doing it professionally.
You can schedule it though. Did you know that?
I know. No. Okay. So I started doing that and then I don't know. I'm working on it. I'm getting better. You'll have to give me all your tips and tricks like after this call. So
sure. Yeah. I'm not great at the scheduling thing, but yeah.
Yeah. So personally, I have a 2-year-old. His name is Dean. As you know, he's amazing, super freaking cute. So now I have a whole community of moms that I'm networking with and learning all
a whole
things
new part of your life, right?
It's a whole new universe for me. So I try to meet as many moms, grocery store lines. I'm like, oh, your child is so cute. Would you like my phone number? So I'm trying to pick up moms in the grocery store. So we try to help each other out and build a really strong community so we can empower each other to, progress in our careers or just try to be the best mothers we can be. So that's my community.
Nice. Yeah. Here's a tip. My guest last week used Bumble to meet friends.
I mean, if you match, you match, right? If you just want to be friends, then I guess you can just be friends.
Yeah. Yeah,
They
maybe
do have, so check this out. They have a mom version of that. I can't
Oh,
remember the
really?
name of it. Yeah. I downloaded the app and then I just kind of stopped there and I haven't jumped in and swiped left or right. I'm not even sure how that
So
works, but
it's Bumble for moms?
yeah. So no, that would be different. This is so
Okay.
moms can meet moms, and it connects you with any of the moms that are in your geographical area, whatever you
Oh,
put in.
okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
pretty cool concept. And then I could
Yeah.
just, I'm a squirrel. I got distracted. So I'll get back to
Sure.
it and see if I meet anybody cool on there.
Yeah. No, I mean, honestly, you have the benefit of being in the workforce, so that's good. So you're
Yeah.
connecting with people. But
Yeah.
sometimes when you're a mom, it can be hard to connect with others, like
Yeah.
if you're also not working outside.
Yeah.
And so I can see the benefit of that. That's
Yeah.
cool.
It's a great concept for sure.
Yeah.
So
Cool. All right. Thank you for answering. Next question is, if you were to have somebody over for dinner, what would you make for them?
Oh, I personally would not make anything. My husband is the chef in my household. I do an amazing tablescape, if you will, that matches the theme of whatever he's
Tablescape.
cooking.
I haven't heard of tablescape before.
Oh yeah, look it up. There's such a thing called tablescaping. So
Okay.
tablecloth napkins, set the mood, put the music on. I do all the things, and then he makes the food fabulous. So yeah, I'm not the chef in my household.
Okay, so what would he make for your guests?
Oh, he can cook anything. So my favorite that he cooks is probably beef bourguignon. And he lights it on fire and it's delicious and it's this really hearty, awesome stew. Not that we need anything hearty in Fort Lauderdale because it's mostly super warm, but it is very tasty. So I do a French country tablescape for that particular event.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you guys have a whole show.
Oh, it's a whole thing. And it always starts with, hey babe, I want to have 4 people over. And then it turns into 20. And he's like, what happened to just 4 people? I'm like, I don't know. Word got out. They love your food. What do you want me to do? Say no? So yeah, it's always I think we did Thanksgiving one year and we initially were going to do, I think we had 10 people and it blew up to 25. And we were adding chairs as people were showing up. And I was like, okay, we got to put a sign, no more people.
Well, and you still just have your bungalow in Miami.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, I live in a bungalow. However, I do have a massive backyard. So we hosted it outside with the really long table and tents and the whole deal. So
okay. Yeah.
All my neighbors trying to peek in there.
Yeah. At least you have weather that can be appropriate for outdoors.
Oh yeah. Especially in November. It's gorgeous. It's 75.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. We can't necessarily do overflow seating in Seattle to accommodate Thanksgiving necessarily.
You'd be like, bring your own tent. We're having it outside.
Bring your own tent. Have you seen those things where they're watching sporting events and it's a rainy day and they're the mom or dad and they're literally in this chair that is also covered, but they're in a bubble.
Yeah, those are great. We keep them for shade because it's hot down here. So we're not trying to block the rain. We're trying to block the rays.
Yeah, different problem.
Different problem. I wish those came with a mosquito net too. I mean, it would be an all-in-one package for us.
Well, this one that I'm talking about, it's literally plastic and you zip yourself into it.
What?
It's ridiculous.
I need to see that. You're gonna have to.
But it's clear, so it doesn't do any good for the sun.
Oh yeah, no. See, I need
because the idea is you're in it and you can see the game, but you're not getting wet.
I like it. So a glorified poncho.
Yeah, but super.
Hey, but you know what? That person, whatever they're priced at, if they sold 500 of them or 1,000 of them, they probably did pretty well with their ingenious all-in-one seat and rain blocker.
There's a similar thing that if you go to Chick-fil-A, they wear those things. At least here because of the rain. Because they get, they have to stand outside, that whole thing they do.
And walk beside your car.
Right. Exactly.
As you're ordering.
Right.
I could never do that. I can't walk, talk, and chew gum. So I would definitely fall off the curb and be like, oh, what was your Oh, and also down here we build actual structure, so they're also in the shade, even at Chick-fil-A. No outdoors down here. We like to view from underneath the canopy.
Yeah. And so before I move on, so Stephanie, she's actually from your hood. She's down in Miami area.
Woo woo.
I don't know if you know her, but she's going to be a guest in the future, actually.
Awesome.
And yeah, she's down there, and she's like, how many people have said don't cook? I think it's higher than one might think. And stereotypically, we'll just say most people are like, oh, the women you have are probably cooking. Nope.
No, I saw Victoria from Pet Screening, and she's like, yeah, you do not want me to cook anything.
Yeah, no, it's surprising how high it's been actually the men that in the relationship that have been the cooks. So actually my wife is a decent cook, but she doesn't like to cook. So she would prefer it if I did it.
Oh, if I could pull it off, I would totally do it. I make a mean banana nut muffin, like a mean one. It's so delicious. I'm good at pastries, not good at dinner.
I'm sure it's edible.
Yeah, I mean, it's edible. It's just his is just flavor profile is just off the charts in comparison to my, like, here's a meat, here's a vegetable. So
and you light it on fire and it's a show. So it's that's nice. All right. Final question. What is your favorite go-to, as you know, Seattle coffee, kind of go together, have our Boss Blend, which did you ever get any Boss Blend?
No, you guys had done the packaging. It was all about to roll out, and then I missed the bandwagon. You have to send me some.
All right, so you're gonna get some Boss Blend. I do not have any
Boss Blend. I only have.
And you probably don't have a mug either.
I don't have a mug either.
All right, you're getting a mug. You're getting a Boss Blend. I won't send you any necklaces though.
No, I have plenty of those. I could actually probably ship you some back.
Hey. Well, if you're at NAA, maybe just bring them with you. And
I'll just bring them with me, and I'll be like, hey, I have some backup for you.
There you go.
Here's
that works. Yes. All right. So what's your favorite coffee drink?
Okay, so there's a local coffee shop that is walkable from my house. It's called Wells Coffee, and they have this Costa Rican blend that's fire. And it's really strong. You're like, oh, this is wimpy. And then 2 hours later, you're like, why am I hanging from the ceiling? And then you're like, oh, it was the Wells coffee. Yeah, it's true.
That much, just inject more caffeine into it? Like,
I don't know, but it's really strong. It doesn't sip like a strong coffee, and then it just hits you out of nowhere. And you're like, okay, so I'm ready to conquer the world, man. Let's go.
So it's not even like nitro cold brew, because that stuff definitely will get you going.
They have the nitro cold brew, but I have not tried that because I would.
Oh, that would probably be even worse.
Go run a marathon after. So
yes.
I wore out the first time I had their coffee. I like wore out my own toddler. My son was like, "Really, dude? I'm exhausted. Can we go inside and sit on the couch for a little bit? Can we chill? Is that cool?" So.
Yeah, I can't do cold brew, especially specifically nitro cold brew from say Starbucks past like midday, noon, or 1 because I won't sleep.
Yeah. I can drink coffee and go immediately to sleep. I'm like I don't know what's wrong with me.
Yeah, I can't do that.
I just get the eye lift and I'm like, all right, let's do this. And then I'm like, I'm sleepy. I'm passed out.
I can't do that. Oh, it's probably because you're a mom and you're sleep deprived.
Yeah, so I'm just used to it. There's no yeah. Dude, when the time changed, like not this recent one, but the one before, so when we fell back, he was getting up at 5 a.m. I'm like, dude, it's dark outside. What are we supposed to do?
And this is, why they should not do the time change anymore?
For that.
People with children.
Yeah.
This is why.
Yeah.
It's the worst.
Aren't they supposed to like change that to where it's permanently this time all the time?
If you voted it, and we did in Washington State, but now Congress has to say, yes, you may.
Well, they really should get on that for all the moms out there that have toddlers and they're trying to transition. Yeah, because that was pretty brutal. 5 a.m. My husband was like, why are you going to bed at 7:45? And I was like, because I got to get up at 5. So it was pretty crazy.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Nice.
All right. So you made it through the questions. Congratulations.
I made it through the questions. Yeah.
Congrats.
Thanks.
So, Jeanne, for those that don't know you, you've been in the property management game since you were 19 years old, right?
Yep.
17 plus years. Started out on the property management side, leasing and all that good stuff. And then you moved into the property manager role.
Mm-hmm.
Lease-ups were kind of your jam, I
Yeah.
remember.
Mm-hmm.
And then eventually you're like,
let's try the dark side.
Let's kick it over to the supplier side. Let's go Proptech. So what was it? But what was it about property management specifically that you really like? And is there any like tips and tricks that you want to share with the masses?
Sure. I mean, property management is, I loved it because I don't have any drama and everybody else's drama was extremely entertaining to me. So there was never a dull moment, specifically on full moons. Like you would be like, why? Okay, cool. Security guard would come in and be like, Jeanne, his name was Tiny and he was not tiny. And he would be like, Jeanne, it happened again. And I'm like, what's up? And he's like, everybody's naked. And I'm like, oh no. And so we'd like go through all the camera footage. It was really entertaining, but I don't know.
This is real?
Yeah, this is real. And every single full moon, something just insane would happen. It never failed.
But isn't that because you're in South Florida?
No,
that why?
this is like all over the country. Remember, I've worked in like multiple markets.
Okay.
Probably heightened in South Florida, but I recently was on Multifamily Insiders and I saw the most hysterically funny post. It was a picture of inside an elevator, and this is during like spring break, right? And it said, "Please do not use your genitalia to push the elevator buttons." And then the hashtag underneath it was full moon needs to move on. So it's not just specific to Florida. And I was just cracking up. It was the funniest thing I've seen in like a really long time. And then all the comments were like, yeah, been there, understand it. Why does everybody go crazy? And then somebody was like, just wait till the Mercury goes into retrograde. Oh, it was freaking awesome. It was awesome. So yeah, it was always entertaining. There was always something new every single day. Multifamily is a very tight-knit group of women. That's most of the on-site teams are women. And we're very good at like supporting each other and solving problems and, overall being of service to each other. So it's a very tight-knit community. And I still have several friends that are either on-site or are regionals. And the reason I switched to Proptech is I was like, great, I have always been a problem solver. I'm kind of passionate about it and being of service and helping someone's life, making someone's life better. So with Parking Boss, it was really simple. Everybody has, parking issues. And I was like, look what I can do. So I loved that. That was a great first transition to dip my toe into Proptech. So yeah, I mean, I love being of service and helping people and ensuring that the people at the front lines, your on-site teams aren't burned out, or if there's a system that can make their life easier, I'm all about it.
Yeah. Yeah. And that was one of the things you listed was just kind of things to combat burnout and also just tackling your personal growth and what that's like. So what have you learned along the way when it comes to burnout? Because property management can definitely put you through the ringer.
Yeah, I mean, we attacked everything with humor, and that we had like a group chain of like, so this is what happened to me today. So knowing that you weren't the only one that was experiencing some sort of weird full moon situation or a fraud situation or a girlfriend situation, all the things that come with, property management. We always supported each other. And then when you can laugh about anything serious and just let it water off a duck's back, it makes everything more entertaining and engaging. So that's how we would combat it. And then I always told my teams, I'm like, you have all of this vacation time. What are you going to do with it? And they're like, well, maybe and I'm like, no. I personally am very, very good on a deadline. So I will take the whole year and map out where I'm going to go for the year. So I'm super excited. And then I usually try to go like every 90 days or get like a little mom break, just sit in a room by myself. That's also very exciting. And then leading up to that, I find that I'm super productive if I'm like, okay, I'm getting ready to go out of here. Let me just bang all this out. And then I'm off for a few days and then I come back. So my advice is you have to re-engage yourself by saying, okay, I am getting a break in XYZ. Go ahead and book the trips, do it in advance. Because if you book it, you're going to go. If you think about it, I'm not really sure, and you don't have a game plan, you just end up working. And then the year goes by and you're like, I have 2 weeks of vacation left. Like, what happened? So That's my advice. Book, pay for it, and just wait. patiently for it to arrive. So
Yeah, just wait. Don't do anything else. Just wait. Don't do your work.
just chill. Just know in your head that this person that's freaking out on you right now, you're going to be gone from the office in like 2 days. And you're like, yes, that is, I'm so sorry that you want to rent the clubhouse after midnight, but that's not something I can do for you. So
Yeah.
be like, yes,
but tied to that then, especially when you're in property management, like you got to make sure your team is ready to take over when you're gone so you can actually be gone.
yes.
Like,
yeah, I personally travel to Europe, and I used to actually put it on my away message. I am traveling internationally and I am unavailable. So it wasn't like I'm not going to send her an email because she's not going to get it. I know that I recently heard that Greystar started doing 6-week sabbaticals for employees that had been there a long time. Yeah. And so they actually disconnect them. They do not allow them to log into anything for that 6-week time frame, which I thought was amazing, just to combat the burnout that's currently happening.
That's great.
Yeah, I mean, because these last 3 years, everybody is just on edge and they're exhausted. And for the on-site teams, it's been like a never-ending process of like a new problem, a new challenge that we have to overcome. So to give somebody that kind of time off is just life-changing.
Is there anything else you want to add to that?
Just make sure you schedule your vacations. If you are worn down and you're tired, just make sure you tell your manager, instead of just make sure there's an open line of communication. As a manager, you need to make it a welcoming, warm, open door policy environment. So if someone is hitting a wall, they're comfortable enough to come in and say, listen, I got to go. Like I'm having a day. I need a couple of days off. I'm short, kind of cranky, and probably just need to vacate the premises for a minute. So I myself call it putting myself in timeout.
Okay.
I would have like a crazy day, and then I'd walk in the door and I would look at my husband and be like, okay, so I'm going to need 10 minutes. I just need to walk over here in this corner really quick and just stare at the wall because everyone has said my name like 500 times today. The phone has been ringing off the hook. Yeah, I'm going to need a minute. Because I usually lived on site. So the walk away from the office was just not nearly long enough some days. So I'd be like, I need a timeout. I'll be right back with you.
I didn't know that.
You need a quick timeout.
You were one of those that lived on site. Man, I didn't know that.
Oh yeah. 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 It was always really interesting. In like the wee hours in the morning, you'd be coming home, you've gone to a concert, you're getting back, and they're like, hey, my toilet's not working. I'm like, yeah, it's 2 a.m. and I don't really care. There's throw in a service request ticket very nicely, of course.
Yeah.
Like throw it in on the internet, man. I don't fix toilets. Have a great night.
Joel just
pros and cons. I loved it because I got to really know all of my residents, and I understand their viewpoint. You get much better feedback if you do live on site. You also are able to like really see what's going on, after your office closes. So if there is anything off, you're the first to catch it versus it landing on your desk and you're surprised by it. So, but the con is you are at work most of the time.
Yeah. And the residents don't get the idea of you being off of work.
Yeah. I mean, some do. And others are like, it's the concept. You do, what's the term is you have to train people how you want to be treated. So, I think one of my tours would be like, I live here and it's awesome, but I'm not available at 10 p.m. when you see me. Feel free to say hi and tell me that you love me, but no problems after 6 or something like that. I would always make sort of like a joke about it. So, it was always fun. It was definitely an interesting thing. So, and being in Fort Lauderdale with all the properties I had were like downtown. So like the restaurants, the bar, like you see everyone everywhere. So the grocery store on like Saturday morning when I've got like leftover mascara from the night before, my hair is all a mess. And I'm like, I just need to get some oranges and, and get out of here. You do the like, maybe. No, I'm kidding. So yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah. That can be its own challenge for sure.
There's also
I lived on site.
Interesting like trend, right? So when I got in the business, you got like 50% off and then it progressed and then it was like only 20%. And then it was nothing. And now the pendulum is completely swinging to they're like, we'll give you 40% off because we want someone back on site. So I thought that was an interesting trend that I've seen in the last like couple of years or so.
Yeah.
So if you're not happy with your discounts, change your company.
Yeah.
You might be able to find a heftier one. That's my advice.
That's
So,
true. Yeah.
mhm.
Yeah. It's out there. Look for it, people.
Look for it, people.
Joel popped on. He said, hey,
Hey, Joel.
can you tell him that I need a new computer?
Joel, Evan had a total fiasco on the show and he desperately needs a new computer. So
Thank you.
just, you know,
Thank you.
thanks for
Okay.
listening.
Perfect. Awesome. All right. So we got that in there that we can end the show now. Just kidding. No. Yeah, thanks for sharing that. I mean, I think the burnout has been a big deal, but I think it's always kind of been a thing within property management in general. Like, unless you train your people well so you can step away, and also just you know, take the time. Like, if they're giving it to you, don't let people like pressure you into being the hero of never taking time off, because your mental health will tell you that you're not a hero.
Yeah. Where you would normally be able to problem solve and be happy about it, you're like, why are you in my office? No. But yeah, it's always a struggle. But yeah, definitely know your limits, figure out, you know, what works best for you if you need to. And everybody's different. And I think that's something that needs to be expressed as well. So some people are really good at working 6-month stretches and not taking any time off. Some people, like myself, I need like 90-day, 2 little trips. I like working sprints, right? So I'm like work. Then I'm like off for a couple of days, but that's how I function. While other people are like, I need that full week off. I'll wait a couple of months to do it. So yeah, I just want to make sure you do it.
Yeah. One way or another, get your
time off in.
Your recoup.
Yeah.
So you can be better all around.
Yeah. And if you're having a crazy day, there's a girl on Instagram, and it's about property management. I can't think of the handle, but I'll send it to you after this and you can post it.
Okay.
It's just hilarious things that happen in property management. And she just makes fun of like literally everything, property management, people, the whole thing. So if you're having a bad day, hop on there. She'll brighten it up for you.
I may have seen it before. Yeah. Does she like make fake phone calls?
She's a little naughty.
So is it like fake phone calls and stuff?
Like, oh yeah. She does the whole thing. It's really great. Yeah. There's also a really great handle called Python Cowboy. He's in the Everglades and he's hot after snakes and things. So if you're into that, that's a great one for me.
Hey,
all about invasive species, iguanas, pythons.
Find your deviation, right? Like your brain disconnect so that you can like.
I've been watching so long. I feel like right now that I could actually catch a snake if I wanted to.
I want to see that. Make sure you get that on video.
I am originally from like Mississippi and you know, Louisiana, so I do have a little bit in there. I'm sure I could totally function. Just get in there.
Yeah, because I mean, just living there, that makes you completely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ride 4-wheelers, shoot guns, go fishing. Let's go.
Yeah. So beyond that stuff, what when it comes to personal development, and you were even mentioning like being in startup life, like in a startup company, the whole idea of like you're kind of on your own because you don't obviously have as many people in the company and things like that. So what is it? How's that been like for you in sales, being kind of alone? And how do you combat that?
I mean, with you guys were pretty much established when I came on board. So there's a few things that I had to like figure out. I mean, I'd never sold tech in my life, so I did have to figure that out. I did listen to a lot of podcasts from people that had been in sales and Proptech forever, following them, seeing what their techniques were, and also just partnering. Every trade show I went to, I tried to leave with like 5 or 6 new contacts of salespeople that were at the top of their game, right? How did you get here? You know, would you mind being my mentor? Those sort of things. I think it was like my 3rd or 4th show. I walked up to Marshall Friday with ADT and I'm like, hi, I'm Jeanne. It's so nice to meet you. I follow you on LinkedIn. Can we be friends? can you show me the ways? Oh, wise one. And he was like, I mean, sure. So after that, I realized that anybody in the supplier world, we're all sort of out to like help each other and provide the best customer service for all of our clients in general, to be a resource. If you're struggling with this, do you know anyone, John? I'm like, yes, here's 4 vendors that you can call. And so I try to be a resource for all of my clients for anything that they might be happening to them in multifamily. So,
Yeah,
and then the other thing is, I read, she's the founder of Spanx. Her name is Sarah. She posted something recently that basically said that growth is lonely. And there's something to be said about that. If you're trying to figure out who you want to be, what your goals are, what your vision of success is, once you figure that out and you're moving in that direction, it's really easy to get distracted by my friend's calling and I need to do this, and you're getting pulled in a million different directions. And I personally recently found out that it is 100% okay to say, no, I can't. Like, I can't make this event. I want to have lunch with you, but I just can't leave my desk right now. And just staying like super hyper focused on what your goal is. And I think that's really important. It also sort of disproportionately affects women because we get in and we want to go and we get very sort of tunnel vision. So once you get to certain high levels, there's not a lot of people that are on your level or relate to the issues and the problems that you're trying to solve on a daily basis. So to combat that, just have a really good village of women that understand, your processes and how you tick. And I have a check-in buddy. I have the tendency to whale dive. They'll be like, Jeanne, you have not responded to any of my text messages. And I was like, I mentally did. I swear. I actually do that all the time. It's really bad. I'll go back through my text messages and I'm like, oh, I never responded, but I did it mentally. So she'll check in with me and she's like, hey, we haven't seen you in a while. Like, what are you doing? And I'm like, working. Yes, you're right. All right. I'm leaving my house. So it's good. You've got to have someone in your life that's like, great, I'm glad you're doing well, but let's go grab some lunch. Let's get you out of the house or whatever it is. Or have some moms that are the same way, or they text me and they're like, I need to get out of my house. And I'm like, I'm on board. So everybody needs a buddy to communicate with, but it's okay to be lonely. Because at some point you have to decide, do you want to go out to dinner with your friends or overcommit yourself to a lot of things? Or do you want to stay focused on your goal, which whatever those goals are, mine is early retirement. I want out as quickly as possible. Financial freedom and early retirement. Let's go. So yeah, you have to decide, what's best for you and stay on that path, and just be diligent in your personal growth, whatever it is that you're particularly trying to do. So
yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
So, I mean, at the end of the day, you still need those buddies. So I guess pick your tribe.
Yeah.
And then don't let too many more people in it, maybe.
Yeah. Pick your tribe and know that it's okay to say no. You can't be there for everyone all the time. Dean, my son, actually helped me realize that, because he needs me. He can have me all the time. But, if I'm tired and I'm with my son and I'm like, you know what, I can't make it tonight. And it's no big deal. Rain check. I find that text messaging lets you off the hook faster. Don't call. They'll talk you into it. No, I'm kidding.
Well, and that's kind of part of it too, right? Like once you have kids, I mean, it changes it quite a bit. Like this might have been different 2 years ago or whatever, when you didn't have a little human to take care of and all that stuff.
Yeah. I can't believe he's 2. He just turned 2, like last
Is it? Yeah, I figured it was about 2. Yeah.
Super cute.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So now what you're doing, you're in the fraud world.
I am in the fraud world. I am.
Yeah. And I mean, you dealt with fraud as a property manager. It wasn't like this was a new thing for you. But what is it that maybe you've learned and like it like even more just drove home the need for like resources and tools like the one you're selling now?
Yeah. So, fraud's always been around, but not nearly to the level that we've seen. So in 2020, fraud was about 15% or so in February of 2020. 6 months later, it was at 29%. So it almost doubled. It's about 1 in every 8 applications is fraudulent, has some type of fraud.
Wow.
Yeah. And the thing is there's two ways to look at it, right? We're in a difficult economy. Inflation is high. And so there's always like, people have to either have the opportunity, a reason to commit fraud, and a rationalization as to why they're committing the fraud, right? And so what I see is the snowballing effect of 2023 with all of these outside factors that are happening. And so the normal honest person is not going to traditionally commit fraud, but they might now because they need $100 to $300 extra more to qualify for an apartment or a home, or just be more competitive against the people in like the single family space, for example, to get that rental, right?
Yeah.
And that's not something that we've seen before or really experienced. And in addition to that, you have on-site team members that are busy and they're trying their best to notice that the paycheck stub has the actual company name spelled incorrectly. Those are the best. I love the obvious fraudsters. Those are the best. You know, and it's tough. You've got the phone ringing and people are coming in and you're trying to provide the best customer service, and you may miss it. But if you miss it, it's tens of thousands of dollars in eviction fees and lost rent. But here's what I've learned about fraud that is the most fascinating, but also sort of scary. So fraud before was just some Joe Schmo was like, I'm going to try to rent this apartment with a fake document that I made on like, you know, Google paycheck stub or whatever. Well, now it's organized crime. So in the Broward County area on TikTok, her name is the Approval Princess. Yep. And she makes TikTok videos about how she charges you $1,500 for documents that will get you an apartment.
That's
Advertising
insane.
on TikTok. Yeah. And so what they've done now is they do, I think her name is Lisa Russell. She's with TM1 Properties and she's been studying fraud for like 5 or 6 years, kind of down the rabbit hole. And so now they do what's called a fraud swarm. So if they discover that your building is not paying close attention, they will drive all of their people that buy their documents to your building. And some of the properties have dropped 10, 15% in occupancy over a 90-day period because of the fraud, skips, evictions, NSFs. And it's just like, what is happening? And then you suddenly realize if you do like a phone number check in Yardi that like there's 15 applications with the same telephone number. It's just insane. So It's gotten really clever. I mean, because she doesn't care. She's making 40 grand a month paying, you know, getting $1,500 a pop. So
how is it that she's not like, I mean, she's open about it.
She's open about it.
How is this not something she's getting,
I don't know,
attention from the authorities over?
I mean, you would think there would, but I think it's just so prevalent now that, I mean, you got to pick and choose your battles, I guess. Like,
yeah, but if you're on TikTok and like going viral, you're pretty obvious.
I don't necessarily know that she's viral, but she definitely has a footprint. So now the thing with multifamily is you have to have education and open lines of communication. So that particular nugget of information came from the rent rep. She just notified all of her clients, hey, we found this online. This is what's happening. Be on the lookout, et cetera, et cetera. So that's really helpful. So now there's like open lines of communication between property managers and they're like, hey, just so you know, I got like 4 fraud applications today, just FYI, they might be headed in your direction. So there's tons of things that you can do. The most interesting thing that I've found though, is there's something called insider fraud. So beware if you're hiring from temp agencies and you're not really paying attention. They have actually placed leasing agents on the front lines that are processing applications in a building to get approvals to move people into the building and then giving that person a kickback. Yeah. Shocking, right? I mean, I found this to be extremely shocking.
So they're placing people in roles of employment to
approve the application.
Interesting.
Yeah. So we've seen it comes from all sides. So the best way to combat it is obviously have some sort of communication with your, you know, what is your fraud plan, right? If you get flooded with fraud, what's your plan? Have you changed your guidelines? Are you doing Bank Connect? Are you doing Direct Employment Connect? Do you have document software that catches anytime a document has been altered? There's tons of new software out there to combat all of these things and then take that pressure off the on-site teams. So yeah, I mean, it's insane what's happening right now. And it has, it can have devastating impacts on multifamily. And I am dedicated to multifamily, meaning that it's been really good to me my whole career in life. So I'm sort of passionate about snuff out the fraudsters. So
well, and I can see it only getting worse with
yes.
Technology just keeps getting more and more good at faking things. So, and with AI and all that stuff, you put something in there and then it just builds you some kind of document you want. And it's like, I can't even.
Yeah, it's insane. Yeah. So in addition to property managers dealing with the dude that's standing in front of the monument sign and just strips down naked at 5 p.m. as people are coming home from work. Yeah, totally happened. Heard about that. They're also like, you put a dash in this. Your other paycheck stub doesn't have a dash. Fraudster. So yeah, I would say technology, because the other thing is you don't want to overanalyze an application to where it feels like someone has been being singled out when all you're really trying to do is prevent fraud. But a lot of independent contractors run into the scenario where like, dude, this is me. This is my money. This is what I do. So if you institute some sort of technology platform to help you in those scenarios, you process your applications faster. It's not all on your teams. And there's a lot of platforms out there that can help you with it. So
yeah, with yours, do you basically scan a pay stub and things like that in your software and it just kind of like looks it over?
So we actually took a totally different approach. So our platform is completely digital. So we scan their ID. If their ID doesn't pass, they don't go any further. We do facial recognition. So we can actually see if the ID matches, the face of the ID actually matches the ID. The other thing we do is we do direct connect. So we allow them to directly connect to their bank so that we can see all sources of their income, car payments, microloans, their past rental payments, because most of that comes out of your bank account. And then we direct connect to the employer. So like you would log in for like ADP, or you guys use Gusto, right? So you would like log into Gusto, and that gives us 10 years of employment history and whether you're active or terminated. So our version is not scanning, just directly connecting.
And what if they're a cash only establishment?
I mean, you wouldn't be accepting cash only establishments. First of all, where are they? I'm excited. Let's go. Because they're usually cash only is pretty naughty, and I'm in. No.
Well, around here, it's all the pot shops, but whatever.
Gotcha. I mean, the money has to go somewhere. So even like the small banks like Chime, for example, that you just have like a debit card you roll around with, you still have some sort of login for that. But even if we've never accepted cash to approve an application. I think back in the day for servers, we would be like, send this to your manager and get it notarized and come back in. But that was our only solution. So it keeps you from alienating independent contractors, gig workers, anybody that's got income coming from somewhere else. I think it's 46% of the population has some sort of side hustle, right? Because everybody's trying to pay for their eggs. They're $8.
Yeah.
Which I think there's a conspiracy behind that. I don't believe in the bird flu. I think it's food tampering. Purina specifically. Not saying
should we continue on, but in conspiracy theories? Is that where we're going?
It could get crazy around here.
Is that where we're headed next, John?
I don't know. It was a big jump, but there's UFOs, but nobody cared in 2020. They just watched the death toll. But hey, that's okay.
Hey, I'm here for a good conspiracy theory. I'm not about not talking about it. I think it's funny, and there's always a little bit of truth to some of it. Like,
of course, it's like comedy. What's the phrase about comedy? If you make a joke about it, there's probably some underlying truth.
Oh yeah,
about what you're saying.
All comedy is based on reality.
Yeah.
So. Yes. Yeah.
So check out Nate Bargatze. He's my new favorite comic. He's hysterically funny. He's super wholesome. He's also from like East Tennessee, so he's got a little bit of an accent. He's freaking fantastic. You would love him. And you can watch it with your kids. It's great.
Oh, Wonderful. So it's not like, he
Yeah, it's
doesn't
not
talk
like a
about
Chris Rock special where it's like every other word.
Got
Although
it.
his was pretty good too. Just have to get through
Right.
it.
Just watch it on your own. Yeah.
Yeah. Watch it. You have to listen to it in your headphones. Can't be rolling around the house without playing while you're cooking dinner for sure.
Sure. Yeah. No, that's a good point. Well, maybe we'll have a separate episode. Maybe I'll start a conspiracy theory side podcast. Nah, I
You
won't do
should.
that. That'll be crazy. That would
Who
that'd
knows?
go
That
nuts.
might go viral. Let's do it.
Yeah, I'd be those guys. Isn't there one guy that's being sued because he said stupid things about the Sandy Hook guy? Anyways, he got sued for like $1 billion or something ridiculous.
Ooh, yeah.
Because he said really dumb things. But
Really
anyways.
dumb things. Yeah. Don't you have a
be careful.
disclaimer on this show? I think it's like all things are just opinions on this
Yeah,
show.
just my
We're good, right?
opinion
We're good.
and the guest.
I think I read that disclaimer. So
This is not the opinion of Community Boss. Just disclaimer. I'm putting it out there. Joel, we're covered. We're good. Yeah. No.
So yeah,
well, with that note,
just has like questions about how to navigate fraud, or you're experiencing it. There's a lot of great resources. Multifamily Industry has tons of articles on fraud and how to prevent it, tips and tricks. If you see more NSFs than you normally do, a lot of like an increase in skips, you may be a victim of it, and just sort of start digging. There's a lot of experts out there that you can reach out to. We're here to help. The website is right there, verifast.com, if you have any questions. So
there it is.
I gotta go like this. I can't do the side. Oh wait, I'm coming in. I got it. Whoop, there it is.
And if you need anything with Community Boss, right there.
It's reversed.
I'll figure it out eventually.
Yeah, I'm sure you guys are crushing it with Pay to Park right now. So
yeah, it's going well still.
I loved it. Oh, that brings up, we have like a minute left, but just like super fast. We be aware that the current administration is going after junk fees. So if you guys are charging application fees, admin fees, which is really standard across the multifamily industry, there's been about 7 states that either have eliminated them, capped them at $20, or only allow you to charge like just the amount it costs you to pull your credit and criminal. On average, it's $75 for an app nationally, $200 for an admin fee. So that equates to like $50,000 to $100,000 in revenue for the property. So start thinking of ways to replace that income should it come to that. And guest parking is a great way to do that.
It's a perfect way to cover that cost or that revenue that you may be losing.
That you might
so
be soon.
Please reach out. We can cover that. Thanks, Sean. Thanks.
Yeah, man. True. All 3 things.
Well, Sean, thank you so much for being here on Boss Talks, being a guest, holding it down with me here, and being patient with technology. I really appreciate that.
No problem. I was just waiting in the wings. I'm like, let me back in when you're ready.
Yeah. I gotta get a handle on that so that doesn't happen too often. That's annoying. But I'm gonna keep going with the lives because I love it. I love having an audience, people chiming in. It's so much fun, and so we'll keep rolling. But
I think you like the adrenaline rush of live.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's fun. But thanks again for being my guest.
Yeah,
and
anytime.
Maybe we'll do this again sometime.
Let's do some
conspiracy. Just like Jeanne jumped in and was a boss on Boss Talks, you too can. So reach out to me. I'd love to have you. If you're passionate about something, if you've been in the industry a while, you have things to share, you are fully qualified to be the boss of the week. So give me a shout and we'll make it happen. Till next week, it's been Boss Talks. We'll see you next Wednesday. Thanks for being here.